Redevelopment Agency meeting of April 2nd, 2014 is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being video recorded as well as presented live on KCLV, Cable Channel 2 under closed caption for hearing impaired viewers. Please note, some customers of Cox Communication who do not have a cable box may view this meeting on digital channel 89.5. The Redevelopment Agency meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, may be viewed on the city's website at www.kclv.tv. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m., also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 1 p.m. This building is protected by state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler system. If alarms should activate during today's meeting, please evacuate using the exits at the back of the chamber, out to the mezzanine, proceed out the double doors to the terrace, and down the back staircase. For anyone who has difficulty with stairs, please check with our marshals or a fire official for assistance. Once outside, assemble on the northeast corner across the street from the City Hall at Lewis and First Street. Employees wearing safety vests or city marshals will inform you when it's safe to re-enter the building. For public comment related items on the agenda, the citizen participation and public hearing items, we have available a speaker card which you may complete and submit to our city clerk. Cards are available online in the clerk's office or at the rear of these chambers. If you do not submit a card, it does not prevent you from speaking under public comment, citizen participation, or specified public hearing items. If anyone is present today who has need for hearing impaired equipment, please see our city staff up front, our city clerk staff. If you parked in the parking garage across the street and did not receive a validation ticket as you entered chambers, please exit to your right and see a security personnel at the entrance. We will move on to item 3. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. The amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. All comments made will be cross-referenced to those specific items. If anyone submitted a speaker card or wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda, please come to the podium and state your name for the record. We'll set the time at 1 minute. Hearing and seeing no one, we will move on to agenda item 4. For possible action to approve the final minutes by reference to the regular Redevelopment Agency meeting of January 22nd and February 5th, 2014. May I have a motion to approve those minutes, please?
Move for approval.
Thank you. There's a motion. Please vote and please post. And that motion carries. We'll move on to agenda item 5. RA 2-1-2014, discussion for possible action regarding a resolution finding the project proposed by the Commercial Visual Improvement Program CVIP agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency, RDA, and Safety Institute Building, LLC owner, located at 820 South Valley View Boulevard, APN 139-31-801-002, to be in compliance with and furtherance of the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan, and authorizing the execution of CVIP agreement by the RDA Redevelopment Area 2. This is in Ward 1 with Councilwoman Tarkanian. Please note this item is related to Council Item 30, R-8-2014. Morning.
Morning, Mayor Goodman, members of Council and the Agency Board. For the record, Bill Arndt, Director, Economic and Urban Development. This project is part of our Visual Improvement Program for Redevelopment Area 2, which is the new area that is for our redevelopment agency in the corridors, generally speaking, of Charleston Boulevard, Sahara Avenue, Decatur Boulevard, also includes Valley View Boulevard, and this property is on Valley View. It's located at 820 South Valley View Boulevard. The name of the business is the Safety Institute, and the building use is going to be for a compliance and safety training center, partnering with several OSHA and EPA training centers to bring affordable safety and environmental compliance information and training to small businesses, and also putting unemployed professionals back to work by hiring more engineers and safety consultants. With me today is Diane Hale, the president of the company, and appreciate her being here today. The subject property is a building that's over 40 years old. It was formerly used as a collection agency, and the buildings along the block are in disrepair. They have graffiti, old paint, trash, there's dead landscaping. And so Ms. Hale and the business are looking to do a number of improvements to the building and the property, and they're also looking to get financing from the Small Business Administration. And Ms. Hale is unable to close on the remodeling loan until the roof and the HVAC have been replaced, which is a considerable expense. We're looking to help Ms. Hale and the business through additional funds from our VIP program for exterior improvements, including uncovering the first floor windows and replacing with energy efficient windows, repair of the sidewalk, and the total private investment is $105,000. The project qualifies for a maximum grant of $50,000 for our VIP program. With that, staff recommends approval, and I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Hale to talk about the project, but also about her business there on Valley View Boulevard in Ward 1.
Thank you,
Ms.
Mr. Orr. Good morning. And if
Good
you would
morning.
state your name for the record, please.
Good morning. My name is Diane Hale. I am the business owner of the Safety Institute building. My company has spent the last year looking for a wonderful place, and I've chose Las Vegas, especially the central part of town, because I remember 20 years ago how wonderful it was. I also know that my clients want a centrally located training center. What my business goal is to provide both OSHA, general industry and construction safety training, and MSHA for the new miner training for future employees of the mines, and there's a great need for it. My company, however, never had a training center, and I wasn't able to provide a lot of the classes that I get asked about. So this building was actually integral. With that said, as a small business, we all have limited funds, and this building, with the improvements, will allow me to have 3 different training classrooms inside of it. It does have extensive damage to it. Found out a couple weeks ago that most of the inside was never permitted, so besides doing the windows, the paint, the landscaping, and improving the overall outside appearance, which is part of the VIP program, we will also be going after the QSP so that we can make it more energy efficient on the inside, put up walls that are code compliant, and have energy efficient lighting and whatnot. My goal is for training the future workers of Las Vegas is to give them enough of a background in safety that they recognize the job hazards at their workplace, so they go home safe to the families and hopefully all in one piece. That said, the strip along Valley View, I'm sure almost everybody goes up and down it because we all go to the mall, and we like Charleston. It's got a lot of great eateries, and the schools and everything are along there. But the Valley View section that I chose my building in, I'm next to a vacant building, which over the weekend evidently got broken into and had already had some copper or the sprinkler system damaged. I'm hoping to be one of the first ones to help by bringing my building up so it doesn't look derelict, to revitalize the area. And by bringing one building back into compliance, having it look nice, I know that it'll help get the next door neighbors, hopefully bring in more business to lease out the space in the strip mall that is to my south. Anyway, the building overall will look better. I've already started. I've got a few nice cactus, got rid of all the dead plants. To me, that was very important to at least get started even before the VIP grant was approved. And I want to thank the City Council for this opportunity. I could never have gotten my SBA loan to purchase the building without having the opportunity to get the VIP and the QSP funds, because on paper, my company would not have looked as good to the financial institutions. So it was a big help. And I want to thank you all for that.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman, this is in your ward, and I know you
Right.
love every new business coming in.
And I love you on Valley View, and I want to apologize that I didn't get back to see you personally. I've had a the most hectic schedule the last couple of weeks, but I wanted to tell you that everything you've said is exactly how we feel about Valley View. I don't know if you noticed, we fixed the medians there along the street, and we're trying to work with others, but I think it's such a wonderful place to be, and everything you said is exactly right. I won't repeat that again. I think your business is excellent. I hope it has much success. And as we do this is what it's for, to get the start, to get the hold on it. You're one of the very first to come into Ward 2 on our redevelopment funds. And we're very grateful for that. And any way we can help you in anything, let us know. Past the what RDA is doing for you, because we want you to be successful. And that's a great strip along that area. And there are a couple places you probably don't know, but we have improved a little bit already. It may not look that improved as far as some of the businesses are concerned, but we have made some changes, and we have others that are on the line. So I hope you'll be the spark that'll bring us to a significantly high level. So I would like to move for approval. Did you want to say something?
Oh, I just wanted to say, since I've owned the building about 2 months now, let's see, the city has, in my opinion, gone above and beyond. I made a few phone calls about the graffiti. It was taken right off the building or painted over. We also had damaged sidewalk. Being a safety professional, I'm like, okay, now the handicapped people can't get past the sidewalk area because now there's a big, huge chunk out. It only took a couple of phone calls, and I also know that was the help with Scott Carter. He put me into the right people at the city, and within 1 week, they patched it, and within 2 weeks, they completely took up the little median sidewalk, or it's not the median, it was an entrance where the chunks were out, got rid of the asphalt, and redid it, so now it's nice and smooth. And to me, as a small business, I didn't know it could work that fast. So you have some great staff with the city, and I wanted to say that it's remarkable. 1 or 2 phone calls, and within a week or two, the items are fixed.
My goodness, I knew our staff was good. I didn't know that all that had been done for you. I guess I can't nag Bill for at least 1 more month.
Yeah, cut him some slack.
I cut him some slack. Give him some breathing room for a month, because I have been hard on this. But welcome to the neighborhood, and I move to approve.
Thank you. This motion, please vote. Please post. Mr. Arndt, where is this building in relation to the old Sun building? That motion carries unanimously.
Which is the choices now.
Thank you, Mayor. It's on Valley View near Fulton. There's an overhead. I should have turned to the overhead, forgive me, but there's an overhead, and if I could get the gentleman in the back to bring that up and then zoom in on the shot. It's on Valley View, and it's north of Charleston?
It's north of Charleston. If you are turning right, so you're heading north on Valley View off of Charleston, you look to your left, you've come across a little single-story strip mall, and there's a little church there. My building's the 2-story, I call it the pink 2-story building, because everybody knows it as the faded salmon-colored building, and it now looks pink. When you go by there, you can't miss it. And then
So
the next building is the white
that the
one.
old Las Vegas Sun building?
No.
No.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I can't recall where the Sun's building is.
But it's a
They did-
2-story.
The history, because everybody likes to talk, and I've got a very nice postman who comes through, and he did say that there were some newspaper people in there. I don't know how long ago it was.
Okay, it was quite some time ago. It's been
Yeah.
vacant for a long time, so that's wonderful. Well, how exciting. Well, congratulations. It passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Welcome to the neighborhood. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Arndt. Agenda item 6, report for possible action regarding current projects and initiatives, redevelopment area 2, Ward 1, Councilwoman Tarkanian. Mr. Arndt, it's your ball game.
Thank you. Again, good morning. For the record, Bill Arntz, Director, Economic and Urban Development. We haven't really done an overview of the major projects and initiatives that were undertaken in redevelopment area 2, so I wanted to give you a brief overview of those major initiatives. This is not going to cover every single project and business and site that we're looking at it in redevelopment area 2, but kind of the major highlights. Starting off, I'd like to turn it over to someone from my team, Shawnee Coleman, one of our senior economic development specialists, who's been tasked with helping with the Las Vegas Medical District in Redevelopment Area 2. And so I'm going to tag team this presentation with Shawnee just to kind of go over some of the major things that we're doing in the medical district, because we believe this is important not only for Redevelopment Area 2 and the broader area, but really for the entire city. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Shawnee Coleman.
Thank you. Morning.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. For the record, Shawnee Coleman, Senior Economic Development Specialist with Economic and Urban Development. What I'm going to talk about, as Bill mentioned, are 4 initiatives that we have going on in the medical district. First, I'll highlight in November, the medical district, the study area was expanded. We have the traditional medical district that you see in the beige, which is bordered by Rancho, Charleston, Alta, and MLK. It was approximately 214 acres, and we've almost tripled the size of the study area to incorporate Cleveland Clinic up in the north, and to include some of the redevelopment area 2 along the Charleston corridor. Also highlight, you'll see some of the banners, branding that we were doing in the medical district in that picture there. As part of the initiative, one of the things that we wanted to do was bring together all of the key stakeholders that are currently in the district. So we started the advisory council, and that incorporates UMC, Valley Hospital, INCHI, and some other large organizations. And the purpose is to kind of coordinate everybody for revitalization and development of the area. The advisory council has established 2 subcommittees, one being planning, and the goal of the planning subcommittee is actually to focus on long-range planning. So they look at their individual master plans and then hopefully can coordinate, develop shared services such as parking, so not everybody's doing the same thing. The second subcommittee is actually marketing and PR, and the goal of this is really just to let the community know regionally what's going on in the medical district, advance the idea that this is the center of excellence for our medical industry in Southern Nevada, and promote PR and let people know what's going on.
Excuse me, might I ask, where are the funds coming from for the marketing?
Maybe Scott can speak to the financing.
When you approved last year, or this current year budget, we allocated some of the funds from the settlement on the Crazy Horse project to the medical district. So we've earmarked funds out of that source to look at both the master planning that's being done as well as some of the marketing work.
Thank you.
The second effort that's going on is our city planning department is in the midst of updating the master plan for the medical district. The original plan, the last time it was updated was in 2002. So this effort will look at, from a regulatory standpoint, as you can see where we have designated major medical use, medical support area. This will actually go through based on some information from the advisory council and other updates to the regulatory process, anything that needs to be changed to facilitate the revitalization and development of the medical district. They're currently working in conjunction. We're coordinating all of these efforts together, so hopefully around fall of this year there will be a new or an updated master plan brought forward to this council for review.
And can you at that time bring to us how Project Neon integrates with the easternmost part of the district?
Part of the plan, and I'll talk a little bit about this, with Southern Nevada Strong, one of the things that we're looking at is, in coordination, is understanding what the opportunities and challenges are with Project Neon, to incorporate that into one of the transportation elements that we're looking at in the medical district. So Southern Nevada Strong was a regional planning effort. It incorporates actually 15 focus areas. The Las Vegas Medical District is actually one of those areas. And so as you'll see, they're looking at supportive services. So they're looking at residents, they're looking at retail, they're looking at office. We hope to take that analysis, incorporate that into the regulatory process, and also allow the advisory council to use that information so we have a coordinated effort in some of those things that overlap, work together, I should say.
Very exciting.
And then the last thing we have is the Southern Nevada Strong Cities, Strong Communities Grant, SC2. This council actually approved receipt of a $1 million grant from the Federal Economic Development Administration. One of the 4 areas for that challenge is the Las Vegas Medical District. There's approximately 900,000, it says 800 here, but there's actually 900,000 because there's 2 phases for the SC2 grant. The first phase will allot $100,000 in prizes. The second phase will allot $800,000 in prizes. And this one is kind of the wild card. Because we have to wait till we actually get proposals in, we won't know for sure what those proposals will be, if there'll even be anything for the medical district. We have a strong tie and communication with the community, and we believe that there will be some. We just don't know what they are. So we'll have to wait till the fall to determine how they actually fit into the scope of the other 3 initiatives that we're doing in the medical district.
Wonderful, thank you.
And with that, I'll turn it back over to Bill.
Thank you, Shawnee. Next, wanted to cover visual improvement program projects. In addition to the one that was reviewed today, we have 3 significant ones that we're working on. The first is Valley Oaks Plaza, which is off of Sahara and Valley View. This was approved some time ago. We're working with both the tenant as well as the owner of the property. We are working through some issues, trying to get the owner comfortable with some of the technical requirements, which include the owner consenting to the improvements as well as signing an estoppel agreement. So that's kind of slowed us up a little bit, but we continue to work through that with the owner. You can see in the slide here that there's some before and after photos, and we think this will be a significant improvement to one of our older shopping centers in the area. The next one, Mercado del Sol, that one I'm happy to report is actively in construction. This is on Rainbow Boulevard, kind of on the western edge of our redevelopment area too. The owner is putting in significant money and improvements to the area that and the property that really hadn't seen improvements in decades. As you can see there, the after rendering, and probably when I report next back on redevelopment area 2, this will be a completed project. So we're happy to report that. We've talked to the owner of the property that had been a Chapala's restaurant on Decatur near Oki, and you can see here a shot of the store. The store is vacant. They're marketing it as for a general store, convenience, or restaurant space. This is the restaurant which is adjacent to the Trader Joe's, so if there are residents or businesses in the area, that should kind of call out where it is. We haven't been able to successfully get the owner of the store to agree to submit a VIP application. We've offered assistance, but I would report that this center is very active. There's a U.S. bank that fronts the street frontage there. There's the Trader Joe's, and this is, at the time that I shot this photo, this was the only vacancy in the whole center. So we're continuing to work with the owner of the store, and even if they don't take advantage of the VIP program, we'll work with them to try to connect interested tenants or businesses into that space.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, please.
in this situation, is this area owned by California owners? You say you've talked with the owner. Are they from California?
Scott Carter, my team, has spoken with the owner. I can't recall. I'm not sure. I think Scott had taken off, but I'm not certain, Councilwoman, but that could be correct. It could be an out-of-town
I'm just
owner.
wondering, because we've had some problems. We've lost several restaurants due to the fact that rents went higher than people in Vegas would feel would be good, and the people from California just seem to think that maybe we can charge California prices. I was just wondering if, maybe later you could just give me that information, please.
Certainly, I'd be glad to. Next, I wanted to talk about our retail initiative, and Julie Quisenberry heads this up. I'd like to thank Julie and her efforts. Our retail initiative is really recognizing a bit of a dilemma that we have in some of our urban areas of our city, where a lot of the retail spaces and the buildings that were constructed years ago really don't meet today's standards for the retail businesses. And so what happens in urban areas, because of the physical layout of the space, but also because of changing demographics, those spaces can sit vacant for some time. So we created a retail initiative. We lured Ms. Quisenberry from the private sector to help us with this. And the retail initiative is quite simple. It's really to connect landlords with tenants and to fill some of those older spaces and do all the soft services, I would say, to try to make that happen. So run specialized demographic packages, look at traffic counts, look at daytime employment, look at non-traditional uses, maybe non-traditional types of retailers that might take a look at these spaces. We've had a lot of success in the core downtown, and we're applying this initiative to redevelopment area 2. There are really 3 major sites that we're looking at. Again, this isn't everything that we're looking at in area 2, but these are 3 sites that we think are significant. There's a big box store, the Target, which is on Decatur near Meadows Lane. This is the Decatur Crossing Shopping Center, and the space is not currently vacant, but in the beginning of May it will be. This is one of the stores that got caught up in the national closure with Target when they had issues with cybersecurity. For financial reasons, they decided to close a number of stores nationwide. This, unfortunately, was one of those stores. We're working with the listing agent as well as interested tenant rep agents, real estate agents that represent tenant businesses to try to fill this space. It's over 100,000 square feet. It's really critical to the area. And one of the challenges that you may be able to see on this overhead photo, it's not the greatest or the largest, but you see there the orientation of the building and the site to the major street, Decatur. Decatur has a traffic count well over 40,000 vehicles daily. Meadows Lane, under 10,000. So getting vehicles into the site and back to the store is really important. If you were to build a shopping center like this today, you wouldn't build it this way. You'd have much more access off of Decatur. So it is a challenge in talking to retailers, but we are going to be actively working, trying to connect interested tenants with the space here. I'd also note that we have the major retail convention in the country come here every May, ICSC, which is an acronym for International Council of Shopping Centers. And most of the large tenant space transactions in the country, particularly with the national franchises, deals and transactions actually happen at that conference. So we're going to be working very closely with the owner. We attend that convention every year, and we're going to be actively working to try to fill that space and help reposition that property.
Could I ask you, do we, I think Councilwoman Tarkanian's comment about the ownership that's out of state, when they come in for this convention, do we have people assigned to specifically go after the owners of those people that own property in our city?
We do. So Mayor, I would answer that to just kind of describe our role, which is really an intermediary. So we're usually not part of the transaction unless we're helping with one of our incentive programs. But it's really bringing both sides to the table and helping someone from out of state understand our market. So they may look at it and do some top-down analysis and say the number of rooftops around the store isn't high enough and the car count isn't high enough, so I'm not going to look at it. But there's that next layer of analysis, that deeper dive, if you will, that maybe a national real estate agent for a national retailer doesn't have the time to do, but we do. We can do that. We have our demographic packages that we can prepare working with the owners. So we're not meeting with the owners and the tenants independently. We're really doing that together and really trying to connect. We do try to set up appointments at that ICSC show. That's critical. And I can't underscore that enough. I think the timing of this is really good because the space is coming open in early May. The show is toward the end of May. So the timing for us really couldn't be better to try to help the owner market this opportunity.
Thank you.
If I could ask a
Please.
question here?
Yes.
What about the health district's interest in this? Where are we with that?
They're talking with the owner. I know the health district liked the location of the area. They like the idea of being able to maybe concentrate services in a single building for delivery of services. I know that we are working with the health district for the aspects of their operation that tie to licensing a business, and my understanding is they're moving forward looking at some space inside our development services center, which is going to be great not only for the health district but for the city and for businesses getting up and running faster, which is usually the name of the game in private business. There are discussions going on. I don't think anything's intimate, but I think the discussions are proceeding. So we're going to certainly assist that, and we'll definitely keep in touch with you and your office, Councilwoman, to kind of get your thoughts on how that fits the area and how that would help the shopping center.
My understanding is that our next Board of Health meeting, and Mr. Beers may add on if I'm accurate or not, is we're going to be considering this very specifically. So it should only be about another month, and we ought to know better. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. This site on North Decatur is just on the other side of Meadows Lane, so you can see the acreage here. It's actually a significantly bigger site than the shopping center across the street. This was most recently a Bill Hurd Chevrolet, even though I say Fletcher Jones because the Fletcher Jones Trust is the owner. They've been in the process of demolishing the buildings. We're working with the owner on trying to connect interested businesses to locate there. The issue that this site has is it by and large will be a vacant site. So whoever or whichever business wants to try to take a crack at moving onto this site will actually have to get into new development. This site really doesn't fit any of our standard incentive programs for tenants. So for the right user, we'd like to develop a specialized package to try to get this site redeveloped. Because it was an auto site, there are a little bit of cleanup issues, but we think it's a great site. There's a significant amount of Decatur frontage, and we're working very closely with the owner. The owner, Councilwoman, you astutely pointed out, one issue we have is a lot of out-of-state owners. Our representative for the owner of the property is also out of state, so hasn't moved forward as quickly as we'd like, but we have a good dialogue and a good open line of communication with the owner.
I drove by it the other day. All the buildings are gone.
Right.
It is flat now.
Right. Correct. The last one I wanted to mention is Sahara Pavilion North. This is a significantly large property in Area 2. It's well over 300,000 square feet. So this center maybe is a little bit easier of an opportunity for us to help try to inject some new life into the center because it's a larger center. It's more like you'd see in today's shopping centers, the power neighborhood retail centers. You see there are some of the tenants there. This is from the listing agent Voight Commercial. There are a number of stores wherever you don't see that flag or the name on the inline retail or the space there on what fronts Decatur and Sahara. Those stores are vacant, so you see a significant amount of vacancy there. This is one where I think our standard programs do fit and do work pretty well to help re-tenant it. So we have been in dialogue with the owner. We've offered our retail program, the visual improvement program, to help new tenants coming into the space. And this one, I think, will be another area of focus for working with the commercial realtor at the ICSC show. I understand there is a Vons that was there that's vacant, so that's another big box opportunity. This one I think maybe is a little bit again, a little bit easier than the Decatur Crossing site, just because you can see the configuration of the site. It's a nice square, a lot of frontage on both streets. Traffic counts are really high on both streets, so we would expect to kind of do some quick help here and really help it get repositioned, and working with the owner and their real estate agent and their broker kind of refill the space.
Madam Mayor, just going back to that, I don't know what happened at that corner. That used to be such a vibrant corner. And across the street is the county, and it seems to me they're having some trouble on that side also. But here you lost Vaughn's, then you lost the big bookstore that we had there that everybody loved, and you've lost all those in-between type of businesses, and I don't know if it was just the economy or something else. Are you guys aware of anything that may have affected that?
Yeah, I think I'd kind of react to it the same way, Councilwoman. This is one that's kind of surprising because the traffic counts are so
Right.
strong. It's such a busy commercial area. I think your intuition's correct. I think the economy hit it. We were building out so quickly, and some of the new spaces filled up, and then there was some saturation in the market where some of the tenants actually left older centers and moved into newer centers just because it was a newer area. Maybe the demographics were a little stronger for their customers, but again, this one is a strong area, and we would expect it to come back.
And the parking's not bad at all in there.
No.
But it didn't just hit that side of Sahara, it hit the other, and I was puzzled because I would think that would be a very important area.
Correct. I would say that this does highlight one issue with retail and with shopping centers. A rule of thumb is the anchor is everything.
Yes,
So
and when we
if
lost
a
the
center
grocery.
loses that anchor, and Vaughn's, a grocery store, that's a
Right.
significant anchor, there's a ripple effect with the other tenants because that pulls in and draws in shoppers into the center. So that's kind of first and foremost, I know the owner's concern and our concern as well. So we're working with the owner. We actually have an interested tenant in the Vaughn space that Ms. Quisenberry is working with, who's taking a look at it. So again, we think it's a great center, and we would expect it to get filled pretty quickly.
Thank you.
That kind of concludes my formal remarks. Councilwoman, I did get a note that, to answer your question, Councilwoman, the owner of the center at Trader Joe's and that vacant retail space, Chapala's, is based in California. So I think that is an issue. But we are in contact with the owner, trying to work through that.
It's just that I was told that we lost some of those restaurants because the owners in California expected higher rents that we couldn't afford here.
Thank you. Councilman Coffin?
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations to Councilwoman Tarkanian for starting redevelopment Area 2 and getting it going. I know this much, that I used to shop at that shopping center along Decatur all the time. I practically lived in that bookstore. And, you know, it's like retailers, brick and mortar retailers, have been hurting for a long time. And it was before the recession that the whole pell-mell shopping habits of people changed to the internet. And people like Amazon were out there, selling with great convenience and great prices. And they weren't the only ones. And it took Barnes & Noble by surprise. They did not react fast enough to that change in customer buying habits. And a lot of other retailers, the same thing. And then the recession came along and really finished a lot of them off. But, it's Congress's fault for not working on this issue for 20 years, because your state of Nevada and local councils have really tried hard to get them to act on the Internet Fairness Act. And finally, we got something through, and the Supreme Court's affirmed it. So hopefully for brick and mortar retail, the end of that unfair advantage on avoiding taxation if you buy on the internet is gone. And let's hope that for retail it's so important for us. So congratulations on this great thing you've got going.
I didn't know that, Mayor. That's how much you can learn at a city council meeting.
And do you want to make a motion to accept the report then, please?
Yes, I do make a motion to accept the report, and after all these years, I can't tell you how thrilled I am that we're moving forward quickly. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This motion, please vote and please post. Thank you, Mr. Arndt.
Thank you.
Wonderful. We'll move on to Agenda Item 7, Citizen Participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the Redevelopment Agency. No subject may be acted upon by the Redevelopment Agency unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, please come to the podium, give your name for the record. The amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. Anyone who wishes to speak, please come forward. Hearing and seeing none, we will move on to Agenda Item 8. Agency member recognition. Comments made by individual agency members during this portion of the agenda will not be acted upon by the agency unless that subject's on the agenda and scheduled for action. Is there any member of the Redevelopment Agency who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda? Any other comments? Okay, hearing none, this Redevelopment Agency is adjourned. We will start our City Council meeting in 5 minutes because we have to change over on technology. 5 minutes.